disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I'm one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me, as always, my podcast partner, Mike Gibbs. What's up, Mike?
Mean Gene. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. All right, now, if this is your first time with us, I want you to know that we are members of the Martial Arts Internet Network. On Mondays, we got Raw off with Mimi and Lump, I guess. On Tuesdays is CTE, Chris Travis Experience. Wednesdays is us, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with Gene and Mike. And Thursdays, you can get the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. For more information, make sure you check us out on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. All right, Mike, it's showtime. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? Looking forward to a Kickboxer review. Let's get into it, man. Let's roll.
All right, and I got a couple of the topics I want to get into after Kickboxer also.
Okay, cool.
That's something interesting I want to talk to you about.
All right.
Okay, Kickboxer. Was this 1990 that this came out?
89, I believe.
Okay, 89 or 90, around them.
September 8th, 1989.
Okay. So, like we talked about last week, this movie seemed like it was Bloodsport, but it was like they remade Bloodsport.
I watched it again since last week. So I've actually watched it 3 times.
Okay.
In the matter of like 2 weeks. And it's better than Bloodsport.
Yeah,
it's better than Bloodsport.
I agree. I think they looked at what they did with Bloodsport like, we can do a little bit better. Let's try that again.
Yeah.
And I think John Claude, he helped write this movie also. I think I saw his name was written.
Yes, he did.
Okay. All right. So let's start it off. Okay. So it starts off at a kickboxing competition. And Eric is in the ring competing. He is Kurt's brother. Kurt is played by Jean-Claude Van Damme. Okay? And he is beating this guy up, and he knocks him out in the 4th round. Right? He seemed pretty arrogant as he was fighting and beating this guy up.
Mm-hmm.
When he leaves the ring, a reporter asked him how come he doesn't have a trainer in his corner. And I noticed that when I was watching the movie also, I saw Kurt in the corner, but I didn't see anybody else.
I didn't either. Well, he didn't have like a... So Kurt must have been the cut man, the corner man, everything.
Right.
You know, you at least have a coach and a cut man.
Right. So then Eric says Kurt, his kid brother, is in his corner. I guess that's all he felt he needed. Now, Kurt did not want to be a kickboxer. From what he said right here, he wanted to be a veterinarian, and Eric wanted him to be a lawyer. So I guess he wasn't going to follow in his brother's footsteps. Mm-hmm. But he was a martial artist.
You're right.
Okay. And then as they're talking to the reporters, somebody asked him what's next, and he said he wants to take on the world's best. And then someone says, "What about Thailand?" Mm-hmm. That sounded like a setup when I heard that.
Yeah. They wanted him to go over there and get that work.
Yeah. And, he didn't even do any type of studying or anything. He just looked at Kurt and said, "Oh, okay, book a flight to Thailand."
Yeah.
And then they go to Thailand. That was pretty stupid.
Yeah. At least it wasn't Hong Kong this time.
Right. Not this time. So they go to Thailand. Okay, so we see them arriving in Thailand, and we get a little montage of them looking around. Now, Mike, let me ask you this: when you go to a tournament out of state, what's the first thing you do?
Usually go to the team fights. You get there, you go to the team fights the night before, and then grab something to eat and head to bed because you got to compete the next day.
You're not going to check in?
Oh, yeah. Well, you check in.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. That's what I wanted to know. Okay, so but Kurt and Eric do not do this. They stop and pick up an escort.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's right.
They do. When they arrived in Thailand, they picked up a hooker.
Yeah. Mike Gibbs isn't doing that. Maybe like 30 years ago or 25 years ago, I would have, but no.
They go pick up an escort, and they go to the hotel.
They sure did.
I would not. Okay, I mean, why would you take your escort back to your hotel?
No, yeah, that's right.
That didn't make any sense.
No.
Okay, so they get the prostitute. Eric, no, Kurt reminds Eric that they're gonna be there for a week before the fight. I think that, and that was it. That was it for that scene. What do you think, Mike?
I thought he was very arrogant, but the guy that plays that character, the guy that plays Eric was the heavyweight champ at one time. And he was very arrogant.
In real life, he was really arrogant?
Yeah, Dennis Alexio. He was kind of playing his role, his real life role. So there wasn't really no acting there. So I mean, I think they got the right person for that.
Okay. And now the next thing we see, Eric and Kurt are in the park, and we find out that they were raised separately. I think Kurt was raised by the mom in Belgium, was it?
Yeah.
And then Eric was raised in LA with the dad. I wonder what happened. That's what I was thinking.
You know, in real life, he was raised in Belgium. Mm-hmm. Van Damme was, along with Tong Po. Okay. And they were friends, and they came over together to the United States to try to make a career in movies.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, it's like his boy.
One made it. One right. I guess I really haven't really watched a lot of martial arts movies to know if Tom Poe was in any other movies, but he didn't get a name like that.
No, he was in a few, but nothing major.
Okay. And now they start talking about their relationships with their parents. And Eric tells Kurt that he thought that he had it easy being raised by the mom. He said his dad was kind of hard on him and never let up on him. And that if he wasn't the best at everything, that he was his dad called him a loser. Man, that's pretty rough.
I can relate.
His dad was always on his case, but he was appreciative of it. He said it made him stronger. I don't know, man. That was pretty heavy. You know, that conversation that they were having right there. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Kurt, he said that he did karate, and then his mom made him learn 3 different languages and ballet before karate. Would you ever put your son in ballet?
I put Michael in dance, believe it or not.
Ain't the same, man.
I mean, that's the closest as I can relate. But, okay. I mean, as ballet, I mean, it's a form of dance. I mean, because you got like your jazz, your hip hop, your ballet. When you do dance, it's like a different program. But no, man, hell no. Unless they really, really wanted to, then I'm gonna support. I guess, but I'm gonna discourage it.
Right. Okay, so then Eric said that he had wished that Kurt and his mom. No. He said he wished that his parents, both of them, could have been there to see him win the championship. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. That whole conversation was real rough. Not rough, but deep. Deep. But then Kurt reminded him, that the parents just didn't get along. They couldn't get along with each other. And then they started to do some sparring with each other.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
And they were in a park. Where they were in a park or something. And the people from Thailand were sitting there looking at them like, what are they doing?
Right. But, where else were they really going to train? I mean, they just hopped on the plane and went to Thailand. They didn't make any type of arrangements. They didn't know anybody. They just said, let's go.
True.
Well, Eric said, let's go.
Maybe it's the title fight. They trained in LA and then they flew there like the week of the fight. And it's just like a walkthrough. Maybe I don't know, man. But that was crazy warming up.
I think when I was watching, I was thinking like Eric really needs a manager. He needs a mouthpiece for him because can you imagine if fighters did not have that person step in and handle their business like Floyd or Mike Tyson or whatever, man? I mean, they could have got themselves. Their careers could have went a whole lot differently. They might not have had the opportunities that they eventually got.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kurt throws like some roundhouse kicks at his brother, like 5 roundhouse kicks, and then his brother got upset and was like, that's not going to work in a real fight. You got to, hit hard. So it was obvious. I mean, you can really see that, Eric was more of a kickboxer and Kurt was a karate. It looked like karate. Well,
karate guy.
Karate guy, especially those roundhouse kicks he threw at him. His brother was off. Then they started doing pad work. And they were hitting the pads, and and he was kicking those pads hard on his brother.
Mm-hmm.
Would you do that? We working out in the park and you start blasting the pads on. If I'm holding them for you, like, what's the point of that?
I mean, unless you're gonna work out, I guess. But like a body shield, maybe. But no, they were on something different, man. It was weird. Yeah. No, hell no, I'm not gonna do that.
The next thing, they arrive at the arena, and another reporter is there to ask him how he felt. Ask Eric how he felt about fighting their champion. I wonder
so arrogant.
Yeah, he was
so arrogant.
I wonder who negotiated that for him. Like who called? Somebody had to call there, find out who the champion of this organization was, and put this whole together. Like watching the movie, I can't see Kurt or Eric putting this together, and they're the only 2 people that we see.
I think he got confronted by the reporter after the first fight, and then like, who are you gonna fight? There's no good fighters, and he was kind of like, I'll fight anyone, pretty much. And he probably got set with the fight in Thailand. They're like, oh, let us show that Thai boxing is superior to kickboxing, and they fed him to the wolves.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it.
As soon as they walk in, after they pass this reporter, Kurt immediately goes toward the ring because a fight is going on, and Eric is kind of walking off to the locker room. And then Kurt notices that they're fighting differently than kickboxing. He probably noticed some knees, some elbows when they were in a tight clinch or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then he immediately goes to the locker room and tells his brother, like, "Hey, we need to postpone this. Their fighting is different than ours."
Yeah, this is bad management.
Have you ever done Muay Thai?
Just classes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. Okay.
Yeah.
What did you think of the class?
Well, it's hard physically. I'm fat and out of shape. Always been thick, but it was physically challenging. It made sense for a street, and I took a little bit. I took it for about a year, and I took some of the techniques and stuff and I implemented it in my classes and things like that, and changed how the traditional, styles that I have black belts in, throw elbow strikes and knee strikes, very traditional. And I kind of changed my system to meet that criteria of Muay Thai kickboxing.
When I was working out at a MMA gym, I did a couple of classes, but I didn't do it long term. It was already too much stuff going on, trying to, from doing the jiu-jitsu, doing the boxing, and then also an MMA class, and my normal work. I'm not a full-time fighter, or wasn't a full-time fighter.
I did it when I moved to West Virginia, and I was just working, and I didn't have anything to do, and that's like the local gym was like an MMA type gym, but they had like a boxing time and a kickboxing time and Muay Thai time and a grappling time and jiu-jitsu time. And I did the Muay Thai because I just thought it was something different. And then I did the wrestling with them because, I wrestled. So
right.
That was cool.
Okay. So then, like I said, Kurt runs back to the locker room and tells his brother, we need to postpone this fight. You need to look at what they're doing. And still, Eric was not fazed at all. And he told Kurt to go get him some ice.
Yeah, he was ready. And then, boom, boom.
That's exactly what we hear. That's exactly what we hear, ladies and gentlemen, as Kurt is in the hall walking back to his brother with the ice. He hears these loud thumping sounds. He goes into a room, and there he sees Tom Poe. He's kicking
a concrete pillar.
Yeah, a pillar that's in the middle of the room.
Mm-hmm.
He's kicking it full power, and you can see the ceiling starting to crumble. And Kurt is looking very surprised. This is going to be his brother's opponent. So he immediately gets scared for his brother.
Well, Tong Bo turned around and saw him.
That's right.
And then he was like, gave him the cut it off.
So then he goes back to his brother. Now, as you know, you're watching it, you already know what's going to happen because Eric is a little too cocky. Kurt is really trying to convince his brother at this point in time to postpone the fight. He was impressed with him kicking that pillar and just the level of force that he was sitting here with. And he said that the fighter looks crazy.
He did though, man. He's scary.
But Eric was determined to fight the best. That's what he tells Kurt. So he said, "Okay, let's go." And then they head to the ring. Now, when they get to the ring, Tom Poe is in the ring. Both of them are already in the ring. Tom Poe is doing the Muay Thai tradition routine before a fight. Did you learn that? Did you do that when you were in Muay Thai? Okay.
With the headdress and all that.
Yeah. I've been to some fights where it necessarily wasn't. It was a bunch of different fights going on. So it was an MMA fight, it was a boxing fight, it was a kickboxing fight, and also a Muay Thai fight. And I've seen that before at fights. The Thai fighters do that routine. Okay. So he's going through the routine, and then he just stops, and he charges at Eric and attacks him. And Eric immediately gets knocked down. I mean,
he hit him with a sidekick, though. And it didn't phase it.
Yeah, he did that. And
that was over.
That was it. Tom Poe just pretty much beat him up bad. He hit him with a couple elbows, and that surprised him because in American kickboxing, we don't throw elbows. So he should have did what his brother told him to do and watch the fight.
Went home.
Learn something.
Should have went home.
I mean, they were instead of going to get the prostitute, he should have went and got a VHS tape with some Muay Thai fight and paid attention and learned how to fight. He had no idea what to expect from.
Yeah, they were on vacation, man. You're right. They were on vacation.
So the first round ends. He goes back to the corner, and he was surprised that he got hit with that elbow. And then once again, Kurt told him, like, this is how they fight here.
He begged him to stop.
Yeah,
he
wanted to stop it. He didn't want to. And that was pretty messed up for him because as soon as it started, he gets viciously attacked, and he falls down on the ground. And then Kurt throws in the towel.
Tom Poe caught that boy.
Yeah. The towel comes in. Tom Poe kicks the towel out of the ring. Like, no, we're not going to end it like this. And then he drops an elbow to Eric's spine. And, he was messed up.
It's over.
So, and then Kurt tries to jump in the ring, and he wants to fight. And then he gets kicked. It was like a front push.
Front kick. Front thrust kick.
Right out the ring. And then he lands on some people who weren't too happy. with them landing on him. We find out that one of the guys, I don't know, he just takes a liking to him because he pops up pretty much for the rest of the movie. He's an assistant and helping out. We'll find out about him in a second. Tom Poe then takes the championship belt that Eric had and just rips it in half. I mean, you got to be awfully strong to rip a belt, a championship belt, by your hands and just. I don't know. That was.
Is that even? That can't even be real.
No.
Like.
No, not with your hand. I mean, you can barely do that with scissors. You're not gonna rip a belt like that.
And it's leather? No, man.
Yeah. And then these people, they put Eric on the stretcher and take him out, and Kurt is following behind them. And then, we missed these guys before because when they were fighting, there were two guys up in the rafters watching the fight.
Yeah.
We see them again, this part right here, and they signal to the two guys carrying Eric on the stretcher. They just give them a signal. They nod, and then they take Eric. They don't take him to the back. They don't take him to any medical facility. They take him outside the arena. Yeah, and they just put him down on the sidewalk, walk back in, and close the gate.
Lock the gate.
And it was messed up, man. I felt for Kurt because he's trying to ask for help. But he's in Thailand. The people he was talking to did not speak English. So he was trying to ask for a hospital and could not find one.
That's when your boy shows up.
Yeah. And he says his name is Taylor. And he's a Army Special Forces. They left out a little bit about this guy later on in the movie because, he was always going somewhere, always going to do something. And when he kept saying it, I kept thinking that this was going to come back in the movie at some point in time, and they're going to explain what he's been doing. But they didn't say nothing.
Nothing.
And was he still in the Army, or was he retired? He was still in the Army.
Oh, no. He was retired.
Oh, he was retired.
He was retired. Yeah, retired U.S. Army Special Forces.
Okay. And then he has a van, and he tells Kurt that he'll take him to the hospital. And then they go to the hospital, and the doctor comes out and says, come back tomorrow. He told them that he wasn't going anywhere. It would be a long night. I was surprised to see that Taylor was still there with him. I was thinking, like, okay, you brought him to the hospital. Why you just didn't leave? Why you didn't just take off?
I think just because he was an American in a foreign country. Like American type thing.
Yeah. Okay. The next morning comes and the doctor comes out and tells them there's nothing else that can be done. Eric is paralyzed. His spinal cord is damaged, and he can never walk again. And Taylor steps in to try and calm him down. The doctor tells him, like, hey, your brother is actually lucky to still be alive. He'll be here for at least 3 months. Before he can move. Man, can you imagine being laid up for 3 months?
No.
Man.
We've been in quarantine for a month and a half, and I can walk around and do whatever I want, and it's driving me nuts. I can't imagine being paralyzed from the waist down.
Man, yeah. And that was I guess it was good that Taylor was still there because Kurt starts crying. But Taylor was just there just to look at him. And then all of a sudden it just gets in his head that he wants to fight Tong Po. That was stupid.
That's stupid, man. If that happened to Travis, are you gonna say, "Hey, I'm gonna go fight Tong Po"?
No, man.
I'm gonna sit there with Travis. I'm gonna sit there with Travis for 3 months.
No, this is what I'm gonna do. If that happens, if this is real and something like this, I'll be Oscar the Grouch. That's what I'll do. I'll be Oscar the Grouch. I'll hide in Tom Poe's garbage can, and then when he comes home, I pop out with the fangs, and then we'll Tom Poe. That's how we get rid of Tom Poe.
All right.
But yeah, man. So let me find my notes. Where was that?
About him getting ready to ask to train.
Yeah, he wants to fight Tom Poe. This what was crazy to me was you're not even better than your brother, and your brother was destroyed by Tom Poe. So what makes you think that you can do anything to him?
Yeah, he's not even a kickboxer.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's not a kickboxer. But at least he was smart enough to know that he needed to learn Muay Thai. That's one thing that he had over his brother.
Yeah.
Taylor tells him just to go home. Go home and come back.
Right. Taylor's smart.
But, that's another thing. I couldn't imagine leaving my brother in Thailand. Like, my brother probably be pissed, but hell, he in a wheelchair. What are you going to do? Punch me in the leg or something. He wouldn't be able to do nothing. So.
Oh, man.
Okay. All right. So, Kurt says he'll find a way. And then Taylor says the only place that he's going to find Tom Poe is in the ring. I guess he was about to get ready to go looking for him. But Taylor was telling them, pretty much he's protected.
Yeah, he's the man.
Right. And then, he could be messing up some money. And it was actually those guys in the suits that we saw earlier that's protecting Tom Poe. Whatever. I don't really think they really went into too many details.
No, we find out later what they're about.
A little, but they had an awful lot of power. But we'll get. I don't want to skip ahead.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. And then the next scene, Kurt sees Eric come out on the stretcher, and then Kurt is upset. And then we go to another montage, right? And when this song was playing, I thought, is this the same song that Dan was listening to in Bloodsport? Remember when he was on the trolley or train or whatever? And he was looking sad and all of that. It was the same thing.
Very similar, though.
But this happened that happened later on toward the end of the Bloodsport. And this one happened early. This was like a good 20 or 30 minutes within the movie. And we see this part. And we hear this, this music or whatever. Okay, next scene. Kurt goes into a Muay Thai gym, and he asks he goes into a Muay Thai gym, and he asks to train. And he finds the instructor, and then he points to the Tom Poe, the picture of Tom Poe on the wall, and said he wants to fight him. And then he gets laughed out of the gym. Everybody, because the instructor, he turns around and he tells the class what Kurt wants, and then so everyone else knows, and they laugh him out the gym. That was funny. Even the little kids. It was just wasn't adults. It was adults, kids, and little kids. Everybody.
That's a national sport.
Yeah. So as soon as he walks out of this Muay Thai gym, there's Taylor again, and he says that he knows one guy who will possibly train Kurt. He was crazy enough to train him for this. But in order for Taylor to take Kurt, he says that he got to do something for him. He wants to go out for drinks. I don't know, man. It seems like Taylor needs some friends.
Yeah, I think he's just been in Thailand, the only American, for a while. Retired to Thailand, and it is what it is. He was happy to see some fellow Americans.
Yeah. Because he had to follow. How did he know he was going to be at that gym? He knew exactly where he was at, So he wanted a buddy, so he followed him. So he said, you got to go out with drinks with me, and eventually, Kurt agrees, and then Taylor takes him to a strip club.
Spot was nice, though. He knew the spot.
But like you said, man, he's been in Thailand for a long time. So
looked like Flight Club. It did, though. Have you ever been in Flight Club?
I've never been in Flight Club.
Man, look just like Flight Club.
I drove by it all the time.
Looks just like with the stage, and then how they have the different stages in the circle booth, man. Oh, man. All right, get back on track.
Man, wait. That's a long drive. When you lived in Waterford, the Flight Club is all the way in Westland, right? It's on Michigan. You made that long drive?
Let's go back to the review, sir.
All right, that's about it. Wait, so I was just thinking like, man, that's like a 45-minute drive. That's a long drive. All right, let's get back to it.
I had a lot of friends.
So they go to the strip club. Taylor is excited. And then he starts telling about his history. He says that he didn't want to go back to America because he couldn't find a reason to go back. That was deep.
That's like John Rambo.
You know what?
This is John Rambo stuff.
Man, you know what? This is gonna be a surprise, but I've never seen Rambo. I've never seen none of the Rambos. The ones when we were little kids that came out, I never seen those. I never seen the recent ones that came out. Yeah, I've never seen Rambo.
That new one's cold.
Really?
Oh man, he's a killer.
Man, we don't be doing nothing on the weekends now, man. Last weekend I was watching Harry Potter, so maybe I'll start with Rambo now.
So, have you seen the Rockies? Have you seen all the Rockies?
I've seen the Rockies, yeah.
You seen the Creeds?
I've seen the Creeds, yeah.
Okay. You're good.
Let's get back to it. We got a little bit more to go. Okay, so in the strip club, Taylor talks about himself. He says he's a survivor. Okay, and then Taylor tells Kurt about Tom Poe's boss, Freddie Lee. That was his name. And Taylor is Kurt asks Taylor why is he helping him, and then Taylor says that when he was in Vietnam, he had a friend who needed him, but he wasn't there for him, and he could have saved him, but he froze. So that he kind of sees Kurt in that same position. Okay. So now the next scene, they're driving to see Zeon. I think that was his name. Zeon. Yeah.
Zeon Chow.
Yeah. Taylor drops him off, says he got some business down the road, and he'll be back. Taylor leaves, and then Kurt takes a couple of steps, and he springs a trap. And then, we see him upside down, hanging from a tree. And then Zeon Cho approaches and asks Kurt, can he help him? And then he wants to be let down. And this is real. Zeon says, no, I don't know who you are. I was wondering why he had so many booby traps around his property also.
Paranoid.
It could have been. I was thinking it could have been a story with him also, like a backstory, but it could have been cut in the editing floor. Okay, so he says that he doesn't know him, but Kurt says that he wants to be let down and learn Muay Thai. Zeon says, but you're American. I didn't know that was a rule. Like you have to be from Thailand in order to learn Muay Thai.
I guess.
But Zeon says that he pretty much didn't want to teach him because he didn't want him to be like Eric. He had heard about Eric and what had happened.
Yeah.
And he had said he had a swollen head, so he did not want to teach. He didn't want to teach Kurt that, so he can be the same way. And then he tells him that revenge is dangerous.
That just shows you it was a big fight that the little man in the jungle heard about it.
Yeah, right. So he asked him if he can teach him. He's asked him if he's fought before. I don't know, man. They just had a drawn out talk to me.
Yeah, it was real long.
Yeah. And then he was asking him all these questions, and then he sends him to the store to get some stuff for him. I thought it
was gonna be like some Karate Kid stuff. Wax on, wax off. Go get my groceries. I was like, all right, man, here we go.
Right. So Kurt goes to the store. He meets Zeon Cho's niece, Miley. And then we see two guys watching Kurt. I guess they recognized him from the other fight because they have some type of relation with Tom Poe. And then Miley, she tells Kurt that Tom Poe takes money from all of the store owners. So I guess this is the part we were talking about earlier.
That Freddie Lee guy.
Yeah, Freddie Lee. So kind of like a mafia kind of thing.
Yeah. That's what he was meaning by earlier when he said he was protected, I think. Like, you can't get to Tom Poe. Yeah. Him and Freddie Lee are like mob bosses.
Right. So then those two guys that were watching Kurt, they come in to the store and they just walk over to, I guess that's that was Miley's cash register, and they just were going to take her money, and her interfered and jumped in and beat him up, and Miley was pissed. She was pissed because she knew what type of trouble that was going to bring down on her. So she says that was really stupid, and she was going to tell her uncle about what happened. I don't know, man. What did you think of Miley?
I mean, I think she wasn't appreciative of the store, but the part she told him about kind of confused me, because Taylor had said, "Hey, I know this guy that will train you probably," but then Miley had told him at that time, like, "My uncle don't train anyone."
Yeah, she did.
Like, and he hasn't trained anyone for years. So I was a little thrown off by that with that conversation with them. But I mean, I would have defended her. Shit.
Yeah, that's not messed up her score, huh?
I might have got whooped. I don't know.
So Kurt goes back to Zian, and Taylor comes back and he wants to know, is Kurt staying or is he going to go? And Zion tells Kurt to go, and he said, "All right, I'll come back in a couple of days." All right, and now they get ready to start training. Zion is going to train Kurt. He wakes him up in the morning by dumping water on him, tells him to change clothes.
I was cool with that.
And then they start doing this training. And for some reason, man, we see a hawk. And the hawk looks like he's paying attention to what's going on. I was like, what's going on with this? Like, I didn't know if the hawk was going to turn into somebody or start talking.
That's a spirit animal, man. It's a hawk.
Yeah, so he's teaching them, man. And we're going to cut it short right here, man. Right here.
Hold on. Shows off the splits again. It's almost another blood sport training scene.
Yeah,
same type of thing.
They showed him getting doing the splits. Same old. Like we
dude made $1 million doing splits, man.
Man, damn.
Bill Wallace mad as fuck that he didn't get into the movies before Jean-Claude.
Okay. So that's the first part of Kickboxer. Next week we're gonna do the second half of it. Actually, man, to me, I enjoyed this movie better.
I did too.
Movie better than Bloodsport and Fearless Tiger.
I'll tell you this, man. Like I said, I watched it 3 times. I was okay with it. I wasn't like, there's no way in hell I could watch Bloodsport 3 times. And remember, I told you I was a Bloodsport person. Like, that was my movie I picked. And then you were like, no, man. And you were right, man. It sucks.
Yeah, but Kickboxer's not bad.
No, it's not bad.
These movies are starting to get better, Mike.
Little bit. I'm just finding a little more compassion in my heart. I don't know. But hey, you know something intriguing I found out, just to talk about the movie real quick?
What's that?
That the budget was $2.7 million for this movie. So they got a lot more money than they did for Bloodsport, because Bloodsport obviously has some popularity to it, so they got more money. And it was Van Damme producing, like you had said, or screenwriting. But it said it grossed like $14.7 million in America. I don't ever remember this movie coming out. I'd have been a freshman in high school. I'd have remembered that. You would have been about a freshman too. Yeah. I don't remember it ever coming out, but it made $50 million worldwide. That blew me away. $50 million worldwide.
That's a lick. So that's a $48 million profit.
They get a 1-star rating just for that. Already, they're one up on Bloodsport. So,
all right, let's get to our next topic, Mike. It looks like Dana White then pulled it off, and UFC 249 is this weekend. It's Saturday.
It is.
It's in Jacksonville. I looked it up because I was like, where could this been? But
is that where it's at?
Yeah, I looked it up.
But Ferguson ain't fighting Khabib. I can't. Who is he fighting?
He's fighting.
Gageesh?
Yeah.
I don't even know who the hell that is.
No. I mean, you know what? I must say now for those who's listening, so you don't complain. Now I am a casual UFC MMA watcher. Now I used to be all into it, 15 years ago. But
you were in it deep.
I kind of backed away from it now, so I really don't keep up with it as much. But I was looking at the preliminary card. The preliminary card looked more interesting than the main card to me.
Yes. It's just names you know.
Yeah, it's names I know. Yeah, exactly.
There's nobody. I'm looking at it right now. I know Dominic Cruz.
And look at the last fight. Look at what probably will be the first fight.
Greg Hardy versus DeCastro.
Do you know who Greg Hardy is?
Yeah, he's got a twin brother named Joe Hartley, and they used to train with us.
No, man. Greg Hardy is a football player. He used to play for the Carolina
Cowboys.
Yeah,
he played for the Cowboys.
Yes,
that's right. That's right.
I'm like,
that's
wow.
right.
Well, I looked at his record. His MMA record is 5-2, and I'm thinking, like, why is he in the UFC?
Why is he on the main card? I'm mad if I'm Fabricio Verdum.
Is he fighting? Yeah, he is.
He's on the preliminary.
Anthony Pettis is also, and Donald Cerrone.
I'm mad. Yeah.
Ronaldo is on. I mean, I was like, wow, like all of these fighters are on the preliminary. Now, I have no idea. Is this a pay-per-view?
Pay-per-view. Yeah. Hell no. I'm going to watch the preliminaries, go to bed early, and call it a day.
Well, I'll watch it. I can find
You going to watch it? Oh.
I can find a way to watch it.
I'll be in Michigan. I won't be in Indiana. I can't watch it.
But I was thinking, like, man, this is like, I wonder, are they going to do it like what WWE and AEW are doing, like the empty arenas? Is that what they're going to do? Or I mean,
no, they're going to have an audience.
Is Florida open?
Yes, they opened it to WWE, UFC, boxing.
No, they allowed them to run their events, but the WWE doesn't have.
No. Yes, I think they do. Let me look.
No, if you watch that,
I thought they did.
Raw and SmackDown. No, they do not have people.
No. Next week, because AEW posted something today on Instagram about having live fans next Wednesday.
Wow.
Let me look it up real quick.
Why would you want to go to these events? Like, I wouldn't want to go. I don't want to be with a bunch of people.
No, it's too early, man.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm trying to find it. Keep going, man. I'm just trying to look it up.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was surprised. I was surprised when I saw it. I just saw it today. Like, I had heard rumors before that Dana was trying to find an island to have it on. He was doing everything he could, but I really don't understand.
Oh, no. They can only have it's 150 people.
I mean, I don't understand. Like, that is not going to be enough money to pay the fighter.
It's saying here he's going to have it empty though. But they're allowed up to like 150. It says. If this report is accurate, I mean, I'm just quoting what this says right here. This is Guardian Sports. So, I don't know, man. I couldn't get hyped like that.
No,
I mean, they feel the crowd, you know.
Right.
But I mean, the undercard is good.
Yeah, the undercard. I will watch the preliminary. I most definitely will. Man, I don't know. I just don't understand. Like, what is the purpose of having the event? Like, I mean, because unless you're going to get money from, if it's going to be on ESPN Plus, I don't know. Maybe a lot of people will buy the pay-per-view. If it's going to be on pay-per-view, maybe a lot of people will.
The preliminary card is on ESPN Plus, and then the main card is on ESPN. The preliminary card is on ESPN. So ESPN Plus, the early card, the one that used to be on Facebook, and then the preliminary card is on ESPN. But this is something else. I just noticed. I forgot. I said his name, but it's a double title fight, main event.
Now that doesn't make any sense also, because Ferguson I mean, this is an interim title. Like, I don't understand the purpose of interim titles. That does not make sense. I can understand if somebody is hurt. If there's a fighter that is a champion, a lightweight champion, middleweight, welterweight champion, and they're going to be hurt for 8 months to a year or more, I can understand the need for an interim title.
I'll tell you what it is. It's a promoter's belt. So a promoter can build somebody out while either somebody's injured or having a contract dispute or they're on the outs with management. You've seen it so many times. This is the interim champion. Then so-and-so makes up with Dana White. And boom, we have a title fight and they make millions of dollars. That's a promoter's belt.
That's so stupid.
It is stupid.
Because that interim title is never defended against nobody else, at least as far as I know. It's always, the next fight is always against the other champ.
The champ. Yeah, just say either vacate the belt or say the champ's out for 6 months.
Yeah,
it's dumb.
And Khabib is stuck in Russia, right? That's the deal. That's what's going on.
Man, this is one fight I would have bought too, if Khabib and Tony were fighting.
Yeah,
Who would you pick in that fight?
Khabib. You like Ferguson?
I like them both. I think it'd be a fight. I like Tony because he's from Michigan, went to Grand Valley, wrestled at Muskegon Community College. Right. From here, he's eccentric. His style is so weird and crazy that I think the angles in his wrestling is not on par with Khabib, but it's good enough that he can compete with him. Because Khabib is a world-class Olympic wrestler. No one's going to beat Khabib wrestling. But I feel Tony's jiu-jitsu is nice. So, and his wrestling is good enough to be there. Better than like McGregor's was. So it would have been an interesting fight.
What they're probably going to end up doing is, so they'll probably do that again in December. Because, December, the UFC normally puts on a big event at the end of the year. And that's plenty enough time from now to have another fight. Man, Donald Cerrone is on the preliminary card, and didn't he just fight?
He just fought and lost.
He fought Conor, right? That's right.
Yes. So he's the golden boy, man. He's got a lifelong contract. As long as Donald Cerrone wants to fight in the UFC, they'll let him. I believe that because he's took some L's.
Yeah, he has. He's taken a few L's. Yeah,
I've seen a couple fighters get 2 L's and they kick him out. Cerrone, man, he's just that guy.
And he's fighting Anthony Pettis too.
Pettis gonna kill him.
That should be a good fight. He'll probably do something.
Pettis gonna knock him out.
But he's gonna go. He's gonna go for some type of highlight reel move. So
he's paid the price.
But Greg Hardy, I want to get back to Greg Hardy, man. He is 5-2.
Why is he fought?
Why is he in the UFC? That's not fair. Like, it's a lot of fighters out here.
Why was Brock in it after one fight?
Money. Brock is strictly name. And, it's not right. It's not right.
His first two professional fights, were on Dana White's Contender Series.
Man, that shouldn't even count. That's like tough. Like they didn't give those fighters that were in tough those wins in the UFC. Those were looked at as amateur fights.
So he fought in the Contender Series twice, fought in some league called Extreme Fight Night, and then the rest of his fights have been UFC. So basically all his fights but one, all because of his name, and he's been brought along, kind of. And then he only had a 3-fight amateur career, and he fought from, real quick, too. They picked him up. So, yeah, you're right. It's the name. He started on November 4th, 2017, and his last amateur fight was February 16th, 2018.
Wow.
So he had basically almost 3 fights in 3.5 months, and then he's on Dana's Contender Series. Yeah, you're right. It's all money.
Yeah. I mean, the same thing happened with CM Punk and Kimbo Slice. Those two guys, they got in.
Man, I respect Kimbo, though.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't respect, man, come on.
Why you didn't respect CM Punk?
CM Punk, man.
I mean, if somebody's offering you the money, you're going to take it. They
for sure.
him the money, and he brought the money in because everybody watched it because it was CM Punk. So the UFC made money, CM Punk made money. I mean,
but
it's not fair.
Sometimes your pride has to take over too, and be like, man, I'm not going to embarrass my family.
CM Punk he didn't have any type of martial arts experience, as far as I know. He didn't have any.
I don't know.
Next thing I want to talk about, Mike. It looks like the tournament is going well for you. What do you think?
It's too early yet. Man. A lot of tough matchups, man. A lot of tough matchups so far.
Yeah.
I got a strategy this round. He didn't send out who I thought he would send out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all. Like, I thought he would get that for sure win because he has a for sure win against my squad sitting on his bench. I don't know what he's waiting for.
I don't know what's for sure no more.
Because I could very easily go up 3. I'm telling you, I could very easily go up 3-0 tomorrow.
Okay.
With Pedro and Enrique.
Mm-hmm.
Very easily.
I just don't know no more.
Man, Pedro's beating Enrique, man. He's beating that young kid, man. Pedro is beating that kid. If it's not a popularity contest, Pedro's beating him.
We're not talking
Stop.
about this. It's obviously a popularity contest.
Yeah and no.
This is more
yeah and no. I think but now I think at first it was, but now people are starting to use their minds a little bit, and they're not voting so much with their heart. Like, they're like, okay, this person would beat this person. So I've been legit.
I don't know.
I've been legit. If I feel that person will beat, unless it's my team member, unless it's like my team, but I've been legit. I haven't been like, oh, this person's going to be pissed off or this person's going to feel a certain type of way. I voted who I thought was the better sport karate competitor.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hard for me because, I've always been an advocate for Linda, and I think Linda was awesome, but I really feel Regina in, her prime beats Linda.
That would have been a good fight.
It'd been a real good. They got disqualified. It'd been disqualification. It'd have been over.
I would have liked it.
The other matchups, I don't understand some of Alex's picks though. Like, I don't get it. Like, he's got to quit playing with his heart and play with his mind. That's his problem. He puts his picks out with, like, he wears his heart on his sleeve. Yeah. God bless him. He likes his people and he stands behind them. But damn, you can't play with your heart. You know what I'm saying? Richard Plowden had been my number one pick, but no, I had to go with the best Plowden. Shit, she's the best. I don't care. Hey, all you name Plowden, I don't care. You get mad at me. She's the best.
I ain't mad.
She's the best.
I know.
She's the best. Fuck it, she is the best.
Yeah, you just lucky my uncle ain't sparring no more.
He'll tell you. He knows in his heart.
Ain't no dick.
She's the best.
Man, I tell you, man. Like, I think Trav, the Trav and I was our match we had. I think was Cam. Was it Cam and Anthony Bryce? I think that was.
See, but here's the thing.
I almost voted for Anthony Bryce. I'm like,
hold on. I voted for Anthony because, I grew up with that. I saw Anthony, respect Anthony. But I don't think why I voted is I don't think Cam is at his peak yet. That's the key. Cam is still very young. Cam's going to go down and be one of the greatest ever if he keeps fighting. I mean, honestly, I think he's I think he's awesome. But he hasn't reached that peak yet.
I don't really think that's what this competition is going though. Like this
that's what I thought. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm not doing the popularity contest. I'm doing with my heart, and in my heart, Cam hasn't hit his peak yet. So I haven't seen the best Cam yet. but I've seen the best Anthony Price, so I voted for the best Anthony Price. You know, that's
I totally hear you. I agree with it. But I'm talking about the people that's not us, part of the Martial Arts Internet Network. People, you know, of course we're going to vote for who's on our team.
Oh, you're talking about the South American crew that just showed up.
I'm just talking about every a lot of people are voting for its popularity.
That was crazy to me.
There's no way Willie should have lost. In real life, Willie is not.
Who did Willie fight? Who did Willie fight on the matchup?
Brian.
Oh, Brian,
yeah.
But he's a thug, man. I mean, but I don't know, man. I think it's a good fight, but you know, my heart's with Willie. Like I said in the last one, I'm biased. You know, my opinion is very biased. To me, you know, I'm not going against Willie, so I voted for Willie.
How do you feel about your it was KA and
Matt Emmett.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, what do you think the people that judged on that were was it off of skill or was it off of popularity?
Popularity.
That's
No disrespect to Kevin Thompson. None disrespect, but Matt's unbelievable.
So, I mean, watching the results made me this week because I'm out of it, people. I lost. That was one. I'm out of it. But looking at the results, man, it made me think. Okay, we as coaches, as putting together this team, we really have to do our homework next time we do this because, of course, we got to get a good fighter, but we got to also look at who is going to get votes. Also,
that's why if we do it again. This is what I think and I was going to suggest this to Travis, you know, and shout out to Travis for putting all this together because it's been fun the last 2 weeks and gave us something to do and put our mind on sport karate. But I think we should do generations. So like you have 80s fighters, 90 fighter, 2000 fighter. We could do it that way because I don't think it's really fair because I started looking at the people that are voting. I'm like, all right, that person's that age, that person's that age, that person's that age, that age. We really need to do it by generation. Mm-hmm. So, like, imagine you get 1980 to 1989. And we draft players and forms competitors from that era. Mm-hmm. You know, that, and then you get the 90s, the 2000s, or split it up, you know, 95 to 2005. You know, and then
that's interesting.
I just think it would be different because I really don't think it's fair to. I'll just say I was mad about Richard Plowden.
You were surprised?
No, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised, but my heart broke a little bit. You know, that's just my biased opinion. But even, you know, like Mr. Price, he's out there and he's social media and he's still active. He's still around, so he's going to get the votes. But say there's the younger people. So, like, I almost started Billy Blanks. But then I'm like, hold on. Not a lot of people know about Billy Blanks that are voting.
Right.
Unless their instructors have told them about him. Then I'm like, hold on, let me go and see how many videos are online of Billy Blanks fighting. And there is not a lot. So if these kids go out there and try to look, let me see who Billy Blanks, Billy Blanks did sport karate. Let me go look. I typed it up. And there's like 5-6 videos. Mm-hmm. You know, one of them's losing. So I'm like, no, man, I'm good. You know? So, you know, you really have to know your matchups. You know, like Enrique
it's hard to
Enrique beat Kevin at, you know, and the reason why I would have put Kevin Walker with Enrique with Chris, but the reason why I didn't is because he beat him at the Irish Open. And everyone holds the Irish Open in such esteem, you know, such a high-level tournament. I'm like, man, they'll just see somebody don't know, and they Google, they're going to see Enrique beat Kevin at the Irish Open. You know, so you really have to be slick with it, but I don't like that. I like, you know, like tomorrow, if I win or lose, but in my mind, Pedro beats Enrique. There's no way Enrique beats Pedro. I'm sorry. Y'all fucking crazy if you think that happens. The kid, and it's no disrespect to him. It's another thing like Cam. He's not in his prime yet. Mm-hmm. that to me, that's how I'm doing it. So, but it's fun.
Yeah, that's fun. We just
it's brought a lot of views to the channel, a lot of likes to the channel. I see some other people are starting to do some fantasy matchups.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, they might blow up. Who knows?
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, it's been fun, and it just made us. It's going to make us have more work to do next time before the draft.
Definitely.
We can't have no last minute drafts. we got to know how to do it in advance this time. At least
who was last minute?
Me. I was last minute.
Yeah, that's you. That's your fault. I sent TP my draft board like 24 hours in advance. Like, man, you better get on it. But we have to have all team Plowden final. We learn from the smartest. Yeah, that's true. We learn from the smartest sport karate coach of all time. We have to have, represent. We have to be in this little final of this little mind game.
You talking about you and Trav?
Yeah, that's how it is. Yeah. That's the ultimate victory. If that happens, it has to. That's only fitting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be interesting. Do you think that we're do you think that we are burning the voters out?
No, because it's actually growing. Every day I get more and more people. And then you can look and see who you're friends with. And there's a ton of people I'm not even friends with. And then just are starting to vote. So that just tells you that the site is growing and more people are getting involved. And they're going to the site every day and, getting involved. And it's good. It's good for the site, good for the podcast, and it's actually funny, Alex is, because it got me sitting down, because I would watch sometimes before I was involved with Eugene. And I would watch but the product reviews are hilarious to me, and they're actually real. I mean, he's actually telling, I wore this headgear. I wore these Warrior Feet gear. Everyone wore the Warrior Feet gear. I mean, when the Dyna stuff, you put that away when the foot gear came out, the Warrior foot gear. But it's been fun. Chris and Travis, they're hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
You get to learn about their crazy lives, but it's just good for the channel. It's going to grow. And anything, we're just crazy, man. We're crazy because we're sport karate people.
We actually being calm. We're pretty calm on this podcast too.
Yeah, you and I are. But I have to be leery. I don't know who watches this. You never know.
Yeah.
It might be a future student. It might be some, a parent this is the first one they see and, we're running our mouth and, we're cussing. And then, that parent sees you at a tournament. Oh, that's that guy that was on that podcast that was cussing. Right. I don't want him judging my kid or, things like that. So you have to be careful. At the end of the day, we're martial artists and we get a little crazy sometimes, but I mean, it's fun. It's our channel. We'll still do what we want. PG-13.
We got a couple more minutes. I'm gonna tell you what I've been doing. I've been really, really thinking about doing this Zoom class, man. I'm really trying to put together some type of curriculum for the kids. 'Cause we really don't know how long we're gonna be, quarantined and not having classes and
you have to
open up gym. So I'm really starting to think about doing. I can't decide if I want to do 30-minute classes though, or my normal 45-minute class.
I would do 30.
I was also
because if you're at home or if you were in front of them, you're going to keep their attention for 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. But you're not in front of them, so I would do 30 minutes. That's just me personally. That's my opinion.
Yeah. I'm thinking about it, man. I've been writing it down, and I did have a parent reach out to me and ask me. And then another thing, I was trying to decide like what I was going to do, like as far as payments, like if I was going to cut my payments in half, if I was just going to do it for free.
No, don't do it for free. Don't devalue your program at all. I don't ever believe in like giving free classes or this. Now I've done the trial with the uniform for a couple weeks, but that's the extent of me giving anything away for free. Mm-hmm. Don't devalue your program. Because Joe Blow Karate person down the street that's giving stuff free away, I'm not going to go to karate there. It's like me and my classic cars. I'm not going to take my classic car to a free paint job, Earl Scheib down the road for $200. I want a quality paint job. I'm going to take it for $6,000-$7,000.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Okay.
You value your program, man. Value your program. You teach good martial arts. You teach real martial arts. You're making a difference. Besides martial arts, you're making a difference in that kid's life. That's really what you don't want to devalue. I would say maybe cut it if that's what you feel. And I would definitely do that that time just from, because the parents are kind of probably, I don't know the age of your students. They still kind of have to sit there probably in the corner and watch, make sure little Johnny ain't kicking the kitchen table. You're going to get more participation, I feel, if you do 30 minutes. And with you not being there to lead, like I said before, you're not going to be able to keep the focus, maybe, but if you had an older group, then for sure. But I think
I got
what's your ages?
My youngest student is 4 and my oldest
hell no.
is 60.
Shit. You put a 4-year-old through a 45-minute class?
Yeah.
Hell no. When I had my my little Dragons program, it was 30 minutes.
And I was no.
You're crazy. 30 minutes. 30 minutes.
I thought about doing
No, they were 30 minutes with me at my school.
I know. I thought about doing that because, I'm about to expand. And I was putting together a class for the 4 to 6 year olds. And I've been wrestling with myself if I wanted to do a 30-minute class for them or a normal 45-minute class.
Hell no.
See, I started thinking about money. If I do 30 minutes, do I still charge my normal amount or do I drop the price down?
My little Dragons I did 4 to 5. No, I did do 6. 4, 5, and 6 was one price. And then once they were 7 to 14 was one price. And then at 14, at 15, you were considered an adult in my program. And they paid like the adult price. So I believe I think I charged, I think it was 60 for Little Dragons. I think it was 75. No, it was 85 for kids. And now this is back in 09, 10 when I had my commercial school. And I think adults, I think they were like a little bit more than kids. So it was like 85 or 95 maybe. At one point I had a class that I was charging like $110 for, but I got up to, and then my family prices and all that. But yeah, I did separate pricing. I had to because I was only doing like 30 minutes.
Okay.
And I had instructors, man. I wasn't even like you. You're doing it yourself, man. You're out there working.
You know what? I just, before this happened, I just had hired my first assistant instructor. Literally like a week before this happened. I had just hired assistant instructor. And that was a hard thing, trying to find an assistant instructor because we don't have that family tree no more where we can go to students and say, hey, can you come?
Right.
Can you come? You don't have that no more.
Go to get you a stimulus package if you had an employee. The Lakers got one.
Yeah, they get their money back. Was that $40 million, right?
Shit, I ain't giving nothing back. They should be ashamed of themselves. Lakers should be ashamed of themselves.
Why?
What you mean? They applied for the small business stimulus relief?
I don't know if they didn't keep the money.
They had to, right? But they had to apply for it.
I don't know, man.
The government just gave it to. Why didn't the Pistons get it then? I'm mad.
I'm thinking about my own stimulus that's coming. And I didn't apply for that. It's just coming. So I don't know the deal with that, so I don't know what's going on.
I don't even get one.
All right. So that's it for this week. Next week we're going to get into.
No, I don't, sir.
That's a message for us. Okay, so man, lost my train of thought. Let me do my ending again. Okay, that's it. For part 1 of Kickboxer. Next week we're going to get into the second half. It's going to go by kind of quick. Not really too much more as far as detail that we need to go into. You got any final words, Mike?
No, just stay safe. We opened up down here in Indiana, so I'm still trying to stay low key in my house. I see these idiots out in the street and stuff. So I'm trying to stay away from them, man. I'm a germaphobe to begin with anyway. So stay home, man.
You're a germaphobe wrestler. I don't get that. That don't even make sense. Like, how you
I'm going to tell you, because wrestlers are some of the cleanest athletes you'll ever meet.
Yeah, with all that staff. Yeah.
That staff and ringworm and stuff. Wrestlers shower morning, midday. They don't want no skin disease. So, yeah.
All right. So, man, that's a weird way to end this, but
man, we always end it weird, man. Let's just end it weird, man.
All right. Well, for us here at Fist Kicks and Flicks, and everyone a part of the Martial Arts Center Network, we're out of here. We'll see you guys next week.
Hold on. Tomorrow, vote for Pedro. Vote for Pedro.
All right, so I guess next week, man, we're gonna see if it's gonna be you and Trav in the finals next week.
Team Plowden. Of course it is. We learn from the genius.
All right, man. Good luck, Mike.
All right. Thanks, man.
See y'all next week, guys.